Jim Carrey's story is one of raw talent, relentless drive, and a life marked by both dazzling highs and profound lows. Born James Eugene Carrey on January 17, 1962 in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, he grew up in a working-class family with big dreams but little means. His father, Percy, was a saxophonist with unfulfilled musical ambitions who worked as an accountant to support the family, while his mother, Kathleen, battled chronic illness and depression. Jim was the youngest of 4 siblings, and money was tight. By the time he was a teenager, the family's financial struggles forced them to live in a van for a period, and Jim worked grueling night shifts as a janitor at a tire factory to help make ends meet. Yet even in those dark days, his knack for making people laugh shone through. He'd mimic teachers, cartoon characters, and celebrities, turning hardship into comedy to lift his family's spirits. Carrey's obsession with performance started young. At 10, he mailed a resume to the Carol Burnett Show, boldly declaring himself a comedian ready for the big stage. In school, teachers let him perform impromptu comedy routines at the end of class to burn off his boundless energy. By 15, he took his first real shot at stand-up, bombing spectacularly at a Toronto comedy club in a garish polyester suit sewn by his mother. But failure only fueled him. He kept grinding, honing his act in Canada's comedy circuit, where his wild physicality and uncanny impressions of Elvis, John Wayne, even a praying mantis, started turning heads. At 17, he dropped out of high school, betting everything on his dream. By 19, he was headlining gigs and earning raves as a prodigy with a rubber face and no limits. In 1981, Carrey made the leap to Hollywood, a wide-eyed Canadian chasing fame in a cutthroat industry. He scraped by, performing at the Comedy Store on Sunset Strip, where his manic energy and fearless stage antics caught the eye of comedy legend Rodney Dangerfield. Dangerfield took him on tour as an opening act, giving Carrey a taste of the big time. But the road to stardom wasn't smooth. He auditioned for Saturday Night Live in 1980 and 1985, only to face rejection both times. Undeterred, he landed a role on the sketch comedy show In Living Color in 1990. His outrageous characters, like the masochistic Fire Marshal Bill and a hyper-masculine Vera de Milo, made him a breakout star. The show was a cultural juggernaut, and Carrey's unhinged performances put him on the map. Then came 1994, the year Carrey exploded into a global icon. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, a low-budget comedy about a zany animal-loving detective, was a gamble that paid off big. Critics panned it, but audiences couldn't get enough of Carrey's over-the-top delivery and catchphrases like, "Alrighty then." The film grossed over $100 million on a $15 million budget, making him a bankable star. That same year, he doubled down with The Mask, a visual effects-driven hit that showcased his cartoonish physical comedy, and Dumb and Dumber, a buddy comedy with Jeff Daniels that became a generation's quotable classic. Carrey's salary skyrocketed from $450,000 for Ace Ventura to $7 million for Dumb and Dumber. By year's end, he was one of Hollywood's biggest names, commanding $20 million per film, a first for any actor. Carrey's versatility kept him unpredictable. In 1998, he stunned audiences with The Truman Show, a prescient drama about a man unaware his life is a reality TV experiment. His nuanced performance earned a Golden Globe and proved he was more than a comedic clown. He followed it with Man on the Moon in 1999, diving deep into the psyche of eccentric comedian Andy Kaufman. Carrey's method acting, staying in character even off camera, bordered on obsession, but it won him another Golden Globe. In 2004, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a mind-bending romance with Kate Winslet, showed his ability to blend heartbreak and humor, cementing his critical acclaim. But Carrey's life off-screen was a roller coaster. His relentless energy masked a lifelong battle with depression, rooted in his mother's struggles and his family's hardships. Fame amplified the pain. His first marriage to Melissa Womer, with whom he had a daughter, Jane, ended in divorce in 1995. A second marriage to actress Lauren Holly fizzled after less than a year. High-profile relationships with Renee Zellweger and Jenny McCarthy followed, but none lasted. In 2015, tragedy struck when his ex-girlfriend Katharina White died by suicide, leading to a wrongful death lawsuit that haunted him for years. Carrey turned inward, seeking solace in spirituality, painting, and philosophy. He spoke openly about his mental health, rejecting antidepressants and embracing meditation and self-reflection. Carrey's career ebbed and flowed. Hits like Bruce Almighty in 2003 and How the Grinch Stole Christmas in 2000 kept him in the spotlight. But flops like The Number 23 and Fun with Dick and Jane showed his star power wasn't bulletproof. By the 2010s, he took fewer roles, focusing on projects that sparked his passion. He returned to TV with Kidding in 2018, a dark comedy about a children's show host grappling with grief, and played Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog in 2020, proving he could still steal scenes. Yet he hinted at retirement, saying he'd only act if a script felt like destiny. Beyond acting, Carrey poured himself into art and activism. His vibrant, often political paintings, some mocking figures like Donald Trump, gained attention online. He wrote a semi-autobiographical novel, Memoirs and Misinformation, in 2020, blending fact and fiction in a surreal meditation on fame. A vocal advocate for mental health awareness, he shared his journey to inspire others. His spiritual side deepened, influenced by Eckhart Tolle and Eastern philosophy, leading him to question the ego and the pursuit of success. Today, Carrey remains an enigma, a man who conquered comedy, tackled drama, and faced his demons head-on. His legacy is undeniable. Over $3 billion in global box office, countless iconic characters, and a fearless approach to art and life. Whether he's cracking up audiences or bearing his soul, Jim Carrey's story is one of resilience, reinvention, and a refusal to be anything but himself.